What's good, everybody? How we doing? We're back with another Sunny V2 video. This is athletes who retire but were more successful after. I already know like 2 or 3. Shannon Sharp, Michael Strahan. I mean, I guess, are wrestlers considered athletes? I don't know. I was gonna say The Rock, but I'm not sure.
Their sporting careers had officially ended, but these 10 athletes were just getting started. And none were as strange as George Foreman's transition from boxing to kitchen appliances. He retired at the age of 48 with minimal future prospects, yet had thankfully claimed his success was due to his healthy eating. Because at the same time, a company called Sultan
I think I actually have a George Foreman grill in my kitchen right now.
Developing a special type of grill that would drain the excess fat out of anything it was cooking. George Foreman let the company use his name in exchange for 40% of profits, believing this was his fate by tweeting, "While I was KO'd, I saw a giant piece of meat screaming, 'Grill me.' When I woke, I said, gotta find a grill," thus the George Foreman grill. The product, however, was a total failure until he also began hosting their infomercials.
Really?
George Foreman explained that at the height of the grill's success, there were months I was being paid $8 million, yet he'd eventually sell his share in the product for a one-time payment of $137 million.
Hold up, let me rewind that. Okay, some months he was getting paid $8 million. I mean, the George Foreman grill is probably one of the most popular grills ever. And I mean, for like a small grill like this, it's a pretty good one.
$8 million, yet he'd eventually sell his share in the product for a one-time payment of $137 million.
Oh, he sold his share for $130. Wow, good for him. That's a great chunk of change.
The product became so popular, one person posted, "Today I learned that George Foreman is not just a brand of grill. It's actually the name of a real man who was once a boxer, while the name Jason Statham belongs to a man who was once a diver." He made it to the 1990 Commonwealth Games, where the judges continually highlighted that he wasn't doing well.
Jason Statham, who's not having a good time. He's moved from...
I never knew he was a diver. Never in a million years did I ever think that he was a diver before he became like an A-list action actor, you know what I mean?
8th, slipped down to 11th.
Despite placing 11th, he'd explained that diving teaches you discipline, focus, and certainly keeps you out of trouble, which are principles he'd also apply as an action movie star. Statham performs his own stunts in every single movie, applying his swimming ability in productions like The Meg and Expendables 3, where diving actually saved his life. Whilst filming a truck scene beside a dock, the brakes on the truck failed, plunging him into the sea.
60 feet at the bottom of the Black Sea, stuck in the mud. How am I going to get out of this? This is how it ends.
Yet Jason was able to free himself and swim 20 meters back to the surface.
That is scary, man. But that's the kind of the risk you take when you do your own stunts.
Terry Crews, who
anybody else would probably have perished. I'm just gonna say that.
Talk about later, said, "He was a professional diver. That was his thing, man. If it would have been me, I don't know if it would have ended that way." Statham further added, "I think what I didn't achieve in sports has probably helped me focus more and take my acting career more seriously, while Arnold Schwarzenegger was only able to act because of his sporting achievements." In the very same year as Arnold's first Olympia win, he was given the lead role as Hercules in New York, being cast for his appearance, which resembled the Greek hero. After his 7th Olympia win, Arnold was cast as Conan the Barbarian, the Terminator, and Dutch from Predator, each being influenced by his bodybuilding background. In the process, Arnold appeared on talk shows giving bodybuilding tips, also being elected governor for 8 whole years.
The governor.
More recently, however, Forbes announced that Arnold had officially become a billionaire, yet Magic Johnson already achieved this many years beforehand. He was the NBA's most valuable person during 3 separate seasons, while ESPN called him the 5th best player ever. But despite the Red Hot Chili Peppers writing a song about him, Johnson's career earnings were, according to Forbes, only $40 million, yet he spent it extremely wisely. Magic Johnson began investing in sports teams, pulling money to buy the LA Dodgers, for which he was heavily criticized.
We went in and bought the Dodgers for $2 billion, and everybody said they're the stupidest businessmen on
$2 billion. That is insane kind of money, y'all.
On the face of the earth.
Until it quadrupled in value.
Woo.
At $8 billion, they say, oh, they're the smartest guys.
He'd therefore also invest in the
It's only dumb until it works out for you. You know what I'm saying?
Los Angeles Sparks, the Los Angeles Football Club, and the Washington Commanders, all while leading operations for the Los Angeles Lakers. He then launched his own talk show, his own film studio, and even his own record label, before also buying a movie theater, the tallest building in Brooklyn, and 125 Starbucks locations. However, there was one investment that was stranger than any other. In 2015, Magic Johnson bought 60% of the Equitrust Insurance Company before almost doubling their assets from 16 billion to 26 billion.
Jeez.
If you told Prime Magic Johnson he'd one day work in insurance, he probably would have laughed. Yet
I mean, honestly, dude, that's the best possible scenario for any athlete out there. I mean, you hear all these stories about these NBA players who just blow through their whole money, you know, throughout their careers. I mean, once they retire, they don't really have any money to live off of anymore, which is ridiculous because of the amount of money they get paid, you know, yearly. I mean, some of these players are getting paid like millions of dollars, but what you got to do is be smart with that shit, like Magic Johnson. Definitely invest in yourself and some companies that you see that might be trending or you trust. I just think that you have to make that money stretch for basically your whole life. I mean, I see a lot of NBA players getting into, like, you know, sports broadcasting, podcasting. You know, you got to have some endorsements, some sponsorships that can help you out. Maybe make your own shoe or something like that, you know. Just got to be smart. I mean, just can't be buying like 7 different cars, 7 different houses, all this fucking like materialistic items that you probably don't need, you know. So that's just me.
Tiriac's corporate change was somehow even bolder. You've likely never heard of him, but you'll never forget the mustache. Ion Tiriac was a pro tennis player from Romania who won the French Open during his peak in 1970. He retired 10 years later but had such a unique look, he was given a role in many different ads. Then he casually decided to open his own bank. It was the first in his country after communist Romania ended, with its profits funding other ventures in real estate, auto leasing, and air travel, although his coolest business is easily his car museum. He owns over 300 different incredibly unique cars, including 2 Rolls-Royce Phantom 4s, of which only 18 were made, and are valued at $3 million each.
How did he even go about getting these cards, man? Like, who like gave him? I mean, I'm sure he might have like purchased these cars, but I mean, damn, bro. Only
the rest
2?
of his collection features everything from Fords to Ferraris, and they're all on display at the Tiriac Auto Gallery.
Yeesh.
Despite earning just £200,000 during his professional tennis days, he became Romania's richest man with a worth of $1.7 billion, but he's not nearly as famous as presenter Michael Strahan. NFL players retire after 3.3 years on average, yet Strahan played from 1993 to 2007.
He did play for a long ass time.
Years with the New York Giants, and retiring after a year that his team had won the Super Bowl. But while this made him perfect for a career in sporting commentary, he approached it through a slightly different medium. Strahan became a talk show co-host on Live with Kelly and Michael, which increased its ratings so ferociously, it began beating its competition by 87%.
Wow.
He was then offered a position on Good Morning America, where he also performed exceptionally, winning 2 daytime Emmys for Outstanding Talk Show Host.
He is really good at what he does.
More recently, Strahan was given a star on Hollywood's Walk of Fame, represented by a whole new category for sports entertainers, making his star the first to feature a trophy symbol. Michael certainly deserves his $17 million a year.
$17 million a year! Damn!
while Vinnie Jones is also perfect for every role
Juggernaut.
he plays. You might recognize Vinnie as the coach in She's the Man, being given the role as a former professional soccer player. He played 184 games of Premier League football, where he built a reputation as a super aggressive person. Vinnie had once casually threatened to rip off and spit in the hole another player's ear, broken the record for the world's fastest yellow card, and of his 184 matches, 12 had ended in red cards.
Wow.
His own club's chairman labeled him mosquito brain, yet Vinnie's tough attitude paid off unexpectedly. In 1998, he was cast as a criminal in Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, although his casting might have been too perfect, as on the day he was supposed to start shooting, he had to attend a court hearing for assaulting his neighbor over an argument about a garden fence.
Oh
he was
my
sentenced to
word.
100 hours of community service.
They
Vinnie was
definitely
then also
casted the
given
right
80
guy,
hours
or they
community
cast the right
service
guy.
after admitting assault and using threatening words or behavior towards members of an air crew. As passengers and crew tried to restrain him, Jones declared, "I can get you murdered. I can get the whole crew murdered for £3,000. But these hiccups only helped his career as he began to play tough guys in every single movie. For example, the X-Men's Juggernaut. He's since acted in over 100 films, but it feels like Shaq.
I feel like it's so hard for me to play like that bad guy role in a movie or a TV show, because that's just like not my nature. But when you find people who can embody the essence of like a bad guy or like a tough dude, and they've really lived that life, I mean, it's like, how can you compete with that?
Appeared in even more commercials. After retiring as the 10th best player ever, Shaq began making rap music,
Dude,
releasing
Shaq.
5 studio albums, one of which featuring Michael Jackson. Under the
shit.
name DJ Diesel, Shaq began...
Dude, Shaq actually, he actually DJ'd at my college, UCF, during one of our football games. I didn't get a chance to go, but apparently it was lit. I guess he's a pretty good DJ.
Performing live at festivals as big as EDC Las Vegas.
Damn.
On top of music, Shaq appeared on WWE, in shows like Curb Your Enthusiasm, and so many different commercials IMDb
The
can't
General
even
is like
count
the
them
one I
all.
see all the
However,
time.
most of his earnings have come from savvy business moves.
Yeah.
Shaq owned 155 Five Guys restaurants, representing
I didn't know
10%
that.
of all locations, as well as 150 car washes, 40 gyms, and 17 Auntie Anne restaurants.
Wow.
He's built a net worth of $500 million, although there's something a whole lot cooler about the success of Terry Crews. He was drafted to the NFL in 1991, playing 6 games for the Rams, 10 games for the Chargers, and 16 games for the Redskins, although he'd explained that he wasn't very good.
Dude, I think that the movie that put him on the map is White Girls. White Girls is a hood classic. I think after that movie, that's when he became super popular, man.
I was always on the end of the roster. I was never a big superstar. I was an 11th round draft pick, partially because he didn't even enjoy it.
It took me years to figure out I never
Shay.
really liked football.
Wow.
Terry made it obvious that he instead preferred the arts.
I would go back into the locker room and ask the players if they wanted their portraits painted.
You did these while you were playing?
While I was playing, I was known as the artist.
That's pretty damn good.
player.
Retiring from the NFL to take his talent to Hollywood. His family thought he was crazy.
There was family members that were like, he had a chance. He blew it. Right. You know, that was the consensus.
Although whilst working security on the set of Training Day, Terry was given an unexpected chance.
Yeah.
Well, the director walks over to me and he said, "Hey, man, you want to be in this movie?" I said,
Hell yeah.
I was like, "Sir, whatever you need me to do."
This turned into another movie, then another, but it was after appearing in White Chicks that
Oh,
his
White
life
Chicks,
would totally
White Chicks.
change.
The producer of the movie called me. He said, "Terry, your life will never ever be the same."
Terry was offered to appear in the Old Spice commercials, which went on for more than 10 whole years, calling it his revenge on the NFL.
They played it all over the NFL. That was another thing that was kind of like my revenge on the league, because you couldn't watch a game without seeing something crazy
is
like
very
Terry
true.
Crews' Old Spice commercial.
Although in terms of success after sporting retirement,
Dude, that's like such a inspiring story for Terry Crews, because I think that once you kind of have a career and you have the opportunity to play in the NFL, you know, you think that you got it all like figured out, you're gonna make all this money, then you know you kind of like don't really have a great career. Then you're kind of like, well, I don't know what else to do. It's like then you go to acting, and you know how competitive acting is. I mean, I'm still acting myself, but it's like he was given that opportunity to be seen in, you know, something as big as the movie Training Day with Denzel Washington. So the hard thing about being an actor is just not really sometimes getting that opportunity that's going to propel you, because it's a very subjective, you know, unfair career. And you have to stick with it. And I think the best analogy that one of my friends told me, or I think it was maybe like an acting coach, is that everybody is in this long ass line, and some people are going to get out of line, but you have to stay in that line until you're next. So that's how I look at it.
There's nobody close to Michael Jordan. Considered the greatest NBA player ever, Jordan was approached by Nike to create his own special shoe, hoping to make $3 million over a 3-year period. Instead, it earned $126 million by the end of the first 12 months. The shoes have since made him roughly $1.5 billion, which he used to buy a share in the Charlotte Hornets, spending $275 million in 2010 before reselling it in 2023 for a whopping $3 billion.
What?
As a result, Michael Jordan is the richest athlete ever, with a net worth of $3.2 billion.
$3.2 billion, bro. That is insane. But that is Michael Jordan. This was an awesome video. If you guys enjoyed my reaction, make sure you hit the like button, share, and subscribe. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you give Sunny V2 your support. But until next time, I'll see you in the next reaction video. Peace!